I'm going to be doing the take a side discussion strategy from the Zweier's Chapter 5. I would execute this strategy by placing a completed problem on the board and having the students decide whether it was done correctly or if there was a mistake within it. So I would have them decide. Once they decide, one side of the room would be no mistake, the other side would be there is a mistake, and then somewhere in between if they weren't too sure about it, I would do this and make sure that when they go to their sides, they would discuss why they are on that side and why they might think that the other people are on the other side. So I want them seeing it from both perspectives. So the purpose of the strategy would be to get the students interacting and moving around the room. So in a math class, this might be hard to do sometimes. You'll be kind of be stuck listening. So I think this would be a good change of pace for the kids to get up and move, and this will also give them a chance to talk to each other because it's not all the time you get to talk about why you think this. Some key steps is would be preparing this. So you would definitely have to prepare several examples with and without mistakes. And after they choose a side, it's important to emphasize that you want them to talk about why they chose their side as well as why somebody else might be on the other side. So, for example, if you think that there was a mistake, point out why you think the other side did not think it was a mistake or something along those lines. So one pitfall of this would be it would be very easy for students to just go along with what their friends are doing or something along those lines. But to avoid this, I would have them explain their answer. So after they pick a side and they discuss as a group, I would start a discussion about have one member from each group talk about why they're on that side and what their group discussed. So I might be able to randomly call on somebody who was doing that. Um, if they're not paying attention, you could tell if they're just watching other people move first, or if they're waiting, or if they're going right away, or just taking a while. Um, if they're taking a while, it might be because they're thinking about it, so that's not the best thing. But if you could see their head moving back and forth and looking at other people, that might be an indicator of them just trying to follow along. And like I said, when we discuss their side, I could just call on somebody on the group and have them explain as to why they picked that side. And I really like this strategy because it does support deeper learning engagement as it'll get students moving and talking. Um, this might be a good change for physical learners who don't really get to move that much in any classes. And then you can make the material here as challenging as you want because you're just going to talk about it right after. So if you give them enough time to just think about it right away and then make a decision, and then you'll be able to discuss as to why or why not it's right or wrong. And if as long as it's something that you've learned, it's not about the actual math and calculations, it's about the process that you're going through. So as long as you're going through the right process, then you'd be able to figure out your mistakes. So going along with that, they'd be analyzing sample student work. So that means that they would just be able to find, like I said, that they're going through the process, which is important. So like this would actually be one of the higher level blooms of showing their knowledge because they're able to take sample work and either correct it or show why it is correct and for what reason or where there might be a mistake and why that might be difficult. So overall, this seems like something I would look to use in my future classroom as it gets students moving, and it's a higher level learning that can be used at almost any time.